good. If you guys want, I think there's a button on this side of the screen where you can ask a question or I think set up your webcam and stuff. So if you guys want to do that, we'll just wait for some to come in. Oh, here we go. There's one question so far.
How do you deal with a bisexual girl?
Yeah.
Should I show them the game?
How do you deal with a bisexual girl?
I don't know how showing them the game would help in any way.
Yeah. I guess just game them the same as you usually do, right? I feel like I should move in closer.
Yeah. I would go for a threesome. That's my own personal opinion.
Actually, yeah, why not? Honestly, I haven't really dealt with bisexual girls before, so I wouldn't be able to tell you how to do that.
Actually, I have.
But in terms of picking them up, I feel like you would just do the same thing.
Yeah,
I think most girls
you treat them.
bisexual.
Yeah, you treat them the same way as you would if they're a normal girl, except you have the option of going for threesome a lot easier. That's it. Is it just me, or is
it
our
really
faces really
bright?
Yeah, I feel
Why
like
does it look like? I can turn down the light.
The heavens behind us. We're heading towards the light.
do two on the other side. Well, do one more up here. Do you turn one on over here? One more back on. That's good enough. The other way looks weird.
Whatever. Who cares? We have like a green screen looking thing behind us now.
Honestly, it makes it look better because you can't see my imperfections.
There's the questions. Okay, finally.
Okay, now we're going. Okay, do you want to do a live question? Oh yeah, okay, so remind me to not press their thing before I tell them their name, because then they might be like jerking off or something. Alright, let's do another one of these.
Here, let's start with SW Cho. That's a good one.
I can't see the question from you. I'll let you guys take care of the question.
Yeah. I'll just read it out loud.
Yeah.
Okay, so SW Cho asks, what do you do when you feel like shit?
I stop feeling like shit and start feeling awesome. True story. Next question. I'm just kidding. Okay, so what do you do when you feel like shit?
Okay, let's talk about what you do when you feel like shit and you want to get out of the feeling of being shit.
Well, if you want our personal opinion, like my personal opinion, or like what I do, is go out. Literally force yourself to go out, because when you're at home, yeah, you're gonna feel like shit. You're not doing anything. But once you go out and start hitting on girls, and then you start getting positive feedback, you start making
negative feedback.
And negative, depending on how you take it. I see all negatives as positives. So honestly, once you go out, once you force yourself to go out there and have fun, that's when you'll realize, oh, I don't really feel like shit. I'm just, maybe you're a little bit scared to go out.
And you might be feeling like shit for a million reasons. You might have, broken up with a girl. You might have not been getting laid for a really long time. But the thing is, when you go out and you realize there are a ton of girls out there, you kind of realize, oh, I feel like shit for no reason, really. Because there's a shitload of girls. Now I'm happy. Get out there. Go out. Approach girls. That's how you stop feeling like shit.
Alright. I'm going to click on let's see, which one's a good one? Okay. Yeah. Zoeb Abbasi. Zoeb Abbasi. I'm about to click on your name, so don't do anything weird.
Are we going to hear audio from here?
I think so.
Are your headphones plugged in?
No, I think we should hear audio.
Here, test the beep real quick.
Okay, here, I'm just gonna test it real quick. It might, some wrong shit might happen, so don't blame me. Hey, what's up, man?
Yeah, I can't hear.
Damn it, I can't hear him. Hold on.
1 sec.
1 second.
No, just put a speaker. Connect the speaker. Or we connect a small speaker to it.
What?
Oh, yeah, I see. Why don't we connect a small speaker that I have?
Okay.
That shit one?
That's supposed to put it in. Wait, it should just be coming out of the speaker, though.
Say something?
Okay, now I hear you.
Okay, my question is, when
Come again?
Go. You can say your question.
Kiss on the first date.
How do you go for the kiss on the first date? You said, how do you go for the kiss on the first date?
Okay, that's a really good question, actually.
Yeah, so how do you go for the kiss on the first date?
There are a lot of ways to go for the kiss on the first date. I'm going through the last few. How did I first kiss the girl on the first date?
Well, the thing is, you can't just like, here's what not to do. You can't just go on the date and then talk, and then at the very end you go in for the kiss, like in the movies. I mean, yeah, sometimes you can get away with that, but ideally that's not really the right way to do it. What you want to do is you keep escalating throughout the date. So let's say we're sitting on a couch. If you listen to the podcast, I'll put, or actually it's a future podcast, but I'll go into it in the future podcast. I'll put their legs onto my legs. I'll put my arm over them. I'll maybe bite their neck, hold their hands, do whatever, and then eventually move in for the kiss.
Basically, you don't want to surprise them with like, surprise, here's a kiss, which does work sometimes, but usually you want to get some kind of feedback from the girl to know that she's down for you to kiss her in the first place.
Yeah, get physical, and don't think that it's weird to make out with a girl in the middle of a date. Like, that's probably more normal than weird.
I think
It's actually weird to not make out with her in the middle
because
of the
that's
date.
very expected, especially if she's coming out to a date with you in the first place. That means in her mind, even if she hasn't admitted it to herself, she's down to at least make out with you, usually have sex. But at the very least, she's down to make out with you. So I think the fact that she's going out with you in the first place is a green light for you to go for the kiss. Beginning, middle, or end? When do you guys like to go for the kiss?
I like to...
Beginning, middle, and end.
I wouldn't do it at the beginning. You mean like when you pick her up?
Yeah, I mean...
Honestly, you have to gauge it. If you guys are already really close, and you've already made out with her,
Right.
making out with her in the very beginning is a good thing, because that sets the tone for the rest of the night.
Well, no, but I wouldn't like just when she comes in. I would never just fucking hardcore make out. I would just kiss her first, see how she reacts to that, and then.
What if you, like, when you first met her, it was at a club or a bar, and you guys just had a really passionate time?
Yeah, like if I already made out with her in the club or bar, the second I meet her, and the second she comes into my car, or like she walks out of her house,
You gotta do
boom, I'm already making out with her.
That's true, actually. Okay, that's true.
Well, if that case happens sometimes, but usually the case is you met her in some low energy environment, especially if it's during the day. You want to make out with her on the first date usually, unless you feel like that's not going to happen. I feel like how many times have you guys been on a first date where you didn't make out with the girl? I mean, that's usually going to happen.
Like 0. I'm just kidding. Plenty of times when I first started.
Yeah, because girls have, especially if they accept the fact that they're going to go out with you, they expect a kiss. They expect it. But if you do it at the expected time, like right before you drop her off at her house at the end of the date,
Yeah, there's so much pressure.
It's a little cliche, and there's a lot of pressure.
Yeah, you're putting way too much pressure on that. Not only on you, but on her too. So now there's like this awkward tension of, oh, is he gonna kiss me? Is he not gonna kiss me? And then you're thinking, shit, I should kiss her. I'm so nervous. And then you just get into like a downward spiral into your head.
Yeah, and that's the worst thing to get into a date. You want to have a lot of fun, and then eventually kiss her at the high point. You know.
So let's also get into like how to go into the kiss, because I think that's also what he's asking.
Let's get into that with stories of the past few dates we've been on and how we went for the kisses in those situations. Okay, let me think.
This is what I did last time I went on a date. And also note, this was an instant date that I just took a girl on randomly. So I ended up not getting the kiss, but I did try twice, maybe 3 times, 2 or 3 times. And I failed, didn't get it. But this is how I did it. So we met, I was like, hey, let's get some coffee, took her on a date, we talked, and then whenever there was like a lull in the conversation, like a silence in the conversation, let's say we're just talking about, I don't know, travel. Yeah, oh yeah, I went to Vietnam, whatever, okay. Then the conversation ends, right? And you know how there's like that awkward silence, quote unquote? So I'll use that to just like slowly move into her face. and then just try to make out with her. And usually that works if I'm like on the first date, but in that time it didn't really work because I just met her, she wasn't ready for it. But I tried anyway.
Yeah. Let me tell you guys the last one that happened to me. And in this case, the girl actually knew what I did, which was a little weird. but I was like, or she said to me, the whole night she was shit testing me like crazy because she's like, I'm not gonna fall for your tricks, buddy, over and over and over and over again. And I saw all the signals beforehand, so I said to her, we were upstairs in my room, we were eating, and I said to her, I don't want you to think this is some sort of move or anything. And then I walked 5 feet to where she was sitting, put my face right next to where she was, she didn't back away, and then I went for the kiss. The key here is the fact that I went up to her face, and then that's the ballsy move. The ballsy move is not the fact that you're going for the kiss. The ballsy move is the fact that you're going right up to her face to see what happens, and then you go for the kiss. So be ballsy. Don't be afraid of girls. They're just fucking girls. They have emotions too. It's not that big of a deal at all.
Okay, so,
by the way, that some guy earlier said it's 6 a.m. over here. Just saying. Thank you for staying up.
yeah, there's a lot of people over in, I think, the Europe area that can't watch this because it's too early for them or too late, depending on when you sleep. Luckily, we're recording it, so. Okay, so this is a good question, actually. Chester Hong, I'm about to click on you. Get ready. Chester Hong. All right. Yo, what's up, man?
You guys hear me?
A dinner date yesterday.
I did. Just fucking out.
Really escalate during the after.
After I'll take because anyway that
because you guys wanted to be a boss and I did it and it worked. But I was wondering during dinner dates, like sitting across from each other, how do you guys escalate physically?
Okay.
All right.
How do you physically escalate when you're on a dinner date?
A very typical dinner date where you're sitting across from each other, and it's kind of weird because there's a gigantic object that's blocking you from touching her.
So first of all, you don't want to be in those situations to start with. You want to
For
be
a first date. For a first date.
Yeah, any date. You don't want to be.
If you're already having sex with a girl, it's like whatever. You can do whatever you want. You're still gonna have sex, right?
Okay.
This is before you have sex.
This is before you kiss her.
Yeah, before you have escalated to.
Here, let's reiterate the question because everyone keeps asking what did he ask.
Okay, so he asked, how do you escalate during a dinner date? That was the question.
Where you're sitting across from each other, and it's a little awkward because you're not sitting next to each other and it's hard to touch her.
Did he say across from each other?
Yeah.
Oh, he did? Okay. Yeah, so one thing is don't sit across from each other. If it's a square table, you want to be sitting like perpendicular to each other, like next to each other. And that's a normal thing. That's how you guys do it. But in the case that you are sitting across from each other, well,
Go ahead.
playing footsie is always really fun. Okay? Like it sounds like a really childish thing to do, but I like to do it all the time. So if a girl says something stupid, I'll just say, God, you're so stupid, and I'll kick her in the feet. Obviously not hard.
Stomp on her toes.
I think you can kick her hard if you want. That's not really romantic, though. I'll give her like a little tap, okay? And then maybe 10 minutes later, I'll do it again and say, oh, you're such a dork, and I'll kick her again. And then this gets it so that she's comfortable with you doing that kind of stuff. And a lot of times, they'll actually do it back. So that's one thing you can do.
One thing I like to do is I'll grab their hands. This is where we get romantic. So let me see your hands. I'll put my hands like across the table. She'll hold on to my hands, and I say for the next 10 minutes, we're gonna talk while holding hands, and then we'll just talk about. It doesn't matter what you talk about, really, just bullshit. But for the next 10 minutes, basically, you guys are gonna be holding hands, and that's a first step that gets like physical.
That's gold.
Yeah.
That's gold.
If you're okay with it, one time I did do this. I just I took her feet and put it on mine, and then gave her like a calf massage. That's a little.
She's across the table.
Yeah, when she was across the table. It was a pretty small table. You could do it easily. That's not something I always do. I only did that one time. That's just an idea. Who knows? Just throwing it out there.
I'm trying to think back to when I first started, and I would go on dates where there was a table in front of me because that's what I was comfortable with. So let's say you're in a situation where there's a table in front of you and you're trying to figure out, how do I make this work even though we're across from each other? I don't know if I want to hold her hands across the table, whatever reason. What I would do is I would say to myself, the second we stand up, I'm going to hold her hand. The second this dinner date's over and we're leaving the restaurant, I am going to grab her hand and walk. So basically what we want to do is, when it's over, just go for her hand robotically. It doesn't matter if you're nervous or whatever, just go for her hand and hold it. And that was really, 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 really good for me. It worked almost every single fucking time, actually.
Another thing you could do too is, I actually saw Jason do this when I was recording him. He got up from his seat and just went over to make out with her. So that you might think that that's really awkward, but really, if you're just cool with it, you're just like a chill guy, and that's what you do. It's not awkward at all. It's a really, in fact, I actually think it works in your favor when you do those weird things, because it's like, wow.
It makes you human.
Yeah. It's like this guy did something really weird and he's confident with it. So
That's really
one last
important.
tip though, for when you're across the table. Another thing that you can do is, this is actually one thing that I love to do. Get out of the seat and say, listen, I'm gonna just scoot in. I'm gonna sit next to you because I don't like sitting like in front of each other because it's too formal. I don't like how this feels. I want to be right next to you, and then sit next to her on the same side. You guys eat on the same side, and then that's just an easy way to put your arm around her. You talk to her more of a informal way.
Less pressure.
if you're in a booth, that's the best. When you guys are like face to face in a booth, eventually just move over to her side and do the exact same thing. Again, we'll go into this for the first date podcast, but when you're sitting next to a girl on the first date, that's the best. Yeah,
Ew.
it smells like shit.
Yeah.
Dude.
Jesus.
Fucking gross.
God. Our dogs smell like shit.
Kong is hungry.
All right, Dave C. I'm going to click on yours, Dave C. All right. Just. Oh. Hey, we can't hear you, dude.
Hold on. One sec.
Yeah, I think your mic's not. No, it's not us. Oh. Yeah, the thing should be working. Yeah, your mic's not working, man.
Did you get it? Let me see.
Huh.
Oh,
I think you told us to wait for him.
Nice.
All right, Dave. So just go back onto the thing, and then we'll click on your question next. Okay? Get your shit set up, man. Don't worry, we'll come back to you. So you have to submit a new question though.
Let's
because I
do
just deleted you
text
from the thing.
questions.
Okay.
This is easier.
This one's pretty good. Here, Timmy T says, "I've been calling girls at the end of the night, but they won't respond back. What can I do to fix it?"
Fix your interactions.
Yeah, honestly, let's say it's the same.
Well,
yeah.
You need to like have a stronger connection. 'Cause if she's not responding, then it's either one, she's giving you a fake number because it didn't go well.
Yeah, no, that's completely true. Yeah.
But also it depends on when you're calling them too. So if you're calling them at like 2:30 a.m., it might have been passed out in the
Yeah, okay,
car.
okay,
So like,
I'm assuming this person is not retarded.
well, no, he said at the end of the night. So I'm guessing he got their number, and then at the end of the night,
like we
he's
do that.
called. Yeah.
So it's like so late that.
Yeah, so a lot of times they'll actually not respond because one, they're just like, oh, I'm like hungover already. It's they've been drunk for like 5 hours, or two, they might have just been passed out, so they don't answer. So it's not.
Think about like, would you answer a phone call when you're not awake? No, because you're not awake. You wouldn't really hear the phone call in the
But
first
see, I don't think
place.
that's the case because he doesn't say they don't respond that night. He says they don't respond back.
At the end of the night.
Yeah. Well, okay. Let's just so that's the first
The
one.
prime
It's-
time
it's-
to call a girl after you get her number is This is what I do. I actually ask them to remind me. I'm like, guys, listen, I got this girl's number. I think she's down. I'm going to call her at 12:30 or 1:30. Like 12:30 to 1:30 is the prime time. Please remind me. And I'll hope they remind me. If they don't, then it's kind of, I kind of in my mind think this is already a lost cause. So you want to call them before 1:30 if bars close around 2. If you're on the East Coast, I think they close around
Did you say
4, right?
like half an hour before bars close?
Half an hour before bars closed, give them a call. If they don't pick up, then you need to figure out, okay, so my interactions aren't really that great, and they don't want to pick up. Or I just keep talking to girls that are blackout drunk and they don't remember who the fuck I am.
So basically, you're asking on question. You should be asking, how do I make my interactions better?
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. All right, let's go on to the next one. Here, let's see if, what was that guy's name again? I forgot.
His last name was Abbasi, if I remember.
Oh, Dave C, right here.
Oh, Dave C, never mind.
Yeah, nice one.
You know?
All right, go ahead, man.
Okay. So my question is, what is the best
Dude, no, we can't do it. Your mic, there's too much static.
Wendy.
No, that's not his. His just said best sex. He didn't even ask the question.
Dave, ask the question in text. We'll get to you.
Yeah, we'll look for you on the text. Put Dave C again too.
What is? Oh, well, that is a very odd question.
What is the best sex you have ever had? There he is.
Huh? What?
Okay.
Well, huh?
So personal stories.
I guess we'll answer that.
Yeah.
we would not click on that question usually. But sure.
No, I would.
Sure.
That's what I thought he meant. That's why I clicked on it.
Oh.
I really thought that's what I thought he was gonna ask.
Okay, the best.
See, there's a lot of good sex. I
Okay,
can
well,
a crazy.
The first time. Oh no.
Alright, so I was at a bar.
I don't want
It was an 18 and over bar. What?
I personally don't want to answer this question.
Oh, you don't have to answer. You know, I'll answer it.
And I'm just gonna tell you the extremely short version. Basically, I get her home. We start fucking. She says, harder, faster, and she's a freak. So I start fucking her harder and faster. And then she says, slap my tits. I was like, okay.
Wait, is this the best or is it the weirdest?
This is the craziest.
Okay.
Like, best is like boring. It's like, yeah, I fucking nutted like 5 times.
Yeah,
it's cool.
The best I think would be with a hot girl for me.
Yeah.
Okay, anyway,
So
go
like, those are boring. So yeah, she was hot, she had big tits, whatever. But this chick told me to slap her tits. So I slapped her tits.
It's like,
And then-
it was like a slap.
At first it was like a light, like, okay. I had like a computer.
Did you do it like sideways or did you just do it like straight on?
Of course, you get like sideways to get the vibrations going. And then next thing she says is harder, faster. So I start doing harder and faster as I'm fucking her harder and faster. And then she says, say you're my daddy.
Wow.
So
I never understood that. Why do they?
She has some daddy issues, but that's not going to stop me from saying that I'm her daddy and beating the shit out of her tits.
Wow. Did you say it? Did you say you were a daddy? Oh man.
I had to. In the moment, it would have turned her off. So
We have to answer this question.
We have to. I think the most interesting. Yeah, I'm not gonna answer best because best was just like with a really hot girl.
yeah, this is boring.
Yeah, I mean like it felt good.
Interesting.
Whatever.
You know,
I'm gonna answer what's the most interesting because I think people would rather hear that. I'd say the most interesting. Okay, this is not the most interesting. Okay, actually, this is one of the top. The other one I actually want to save for a podcast. Or did I say that already on a podcast?
Who cares?
The snowballing one?
No.
Okay, well that's a story for a podcast.
No,
No, I'm not gonna say that now. That's a really
Snowball. Well, you pretty much gave it away with that. Don't look up snowballing on Urban Dictionary, please.
Yeah. So there was one girl who, in between sex, she goes, hey, do you mind if I try something real quick? It's going to be really random. And then I was like, yeah, sure. So she goes to the kitchen, grabs a water bottle, just drinks a little bit, and she goes, all right, now open your mouth. And then I'm like, okay. I'm opening my mouth, and then she spits the water into my mouth. Oh, shit. And then,
Is that hot?
I don't know. And then she told me to spit it back into her mouth. So that was probably the weirdest. And then we continued to fuck after that.
I gotta... Hold on, okay. Well, the best... This is the best, but it's also the most interesting. I met a girl, and the first night we went out, she took her middle finger and put it between my butt crack into my butthole area.
Go on.
And she just rested it there, and she's like, and I looked at her and I was like, what are you doing? And she said to me, this means I like you. And I was like, cool.
How hairy was it down there?
Give me a scale so I can give you guys a number.
One is
10.
The other one is my arm. 0 is
Yeah.
my arm.
Kong's arm.
Kong's arm are hairless, by the way. Okay, so...
Why don't you just caress it so sexually?
Because I wanted an excuse to touch you, dude. Why am I telling this fucking story? Okay, so... she had her... We just finished having sex. I met her, we went back to my place, had sex. She put her middle finger between my butt crack and rested it on my butthole. Ugh. And, why am I telling this fucking story? And,
Hurry up!
Shut up!
Jesus.
And she just left it there, and I said, well, what are you doing? She said, this means I like you. So in my mind, I store that information. This means I like you. Okay, I'm going to see her again in like a few days, and I am going to vigorously scrub my butthole because I have a feeling something's going to happen right there. And the next time we went out, she asked me, hey, do you mind if I do something to you? I just want to try something. Just tell me if you don't like it. I'm like, sure. I kind of knew what she was going to do. I've never had it done to me before, but I knew. She took her head, this part of her body, and she shoved it into the part of my body that I poop from. And then stuck out her tongue, and then started doing this thing with it. And I was like, whoa, I'm getting a rim job! This is great!
Nice.
And I got a rim job, and it felt really good. And this is, I can't believe I'm saying this.
Good.
Good question, dude.
Good.
Good question.
Alright.
Good question.
It's gonna text.
This is gonna bite me in the ass when my mom plays it back to me later in my life.
Alright, this is a good question actually. Zaid Islam. I'm gonna click on your question, or you're gonna be on camera in 2 seconds. Zaid Islam. Hey, what's up, man? We can't hear you. There's no sound.
Hold on, it's lagging. Let it go.
No,
You would hear the
background.
yeah, you would hear the air. No, there's just no sound.
No.
I have the volume all the way up. All right, dude. Just get your shit fixed. If it's fixed,
Okay,
come back.
let's
and then
just go
we'll-
to text.
Yeah, just go to text for now. We'll go back to videos later, because we've only answered a few questions for now.
Okay. Here, let's try to answer it quickly so we can get through more questions. Oh, this is a good one. Movie date?
Yeah.
Okay, I clicked on the wrong one. but whatever. Yeah, we might as well just answer it.
How often do you drink when going out?
Depends if we're going out to have fun or
Yeah.
not. If we're going out to have fun, we'll drink.
If you're going out to try to get better at game, don't drink at all. Drink
Zero. Do not drink.
Don't even drink water.
Well,
Yeah, that's true.
dude, water's a crutch, man.
Yeah, so that answered that question. What was that other one? Whatever, I lost it.
Something about movie dates.
Too late. I'm not gonna look for it. I'm just gonna look for another one. Here. How do you not come across desperate to girls when talking to them at parties or texting them later?
Not no.
A lot of ways. I mean, we
Yeah.
can't get into everything now, but the main thing is two things. One, your tone. Don't use uptalk. and we explain that in detail in the videos all the time. Don't use uptalk. When you talk to them, be like a little bit condescending in your tone of voice. So you're saying normal things, but your tone is like almost condescending.
Which you're gonna fuck up initially. We fucked this up for months, but you have to trust that, eventually you'll be able to gauge when it's proper to use that tone of voice.
And then 2 is not being reactive to her. So when she's saying something, a lot of guys are like, oh yeah, totally. Or she'll say something, a joke that's not funny, and guys will laugh at it. If a girl says a joke that's not funny, I'm going to tell her, that wasn't funny. Not in a mean way, but like I'll try to say that and make her laugh from that as well. So a lot of guys, she'll tell a story about how she'll go on for like 10 minutes telling a story, right? And they don't want to listen to it, but they'll listen to it anyway. So that's you reacting to her. If you don't want to listen to the story, just cut her off and start a new subject.
What I do is I fake snoring as they're telling a story. I'll go, and then it's kind of funny. It's a joke.
Yeah, kind of like how Jesus
I
did
did that, when you were telling your story.
My asshole eating story. You did that? I didn't pick up on it.
Sorry. Yeah, the introduction to that story took too long. That's why.
Yeah.
So those are the main 2 things. There's a lot more, but honestly, we can't. We could literally talk for like 2 hours about it. Those are the main 2 things, though. Okay.
Try to make the questions a little bit more specific.
Yeah.
If you can.
How to pick up girls on campus when it's cold as fuck.
Come on. Okay, let's think back to when it was cold as fuck.
Yeah, I would just wear a jacket.
Yeah.
What?
Actually, I would just tell them, let's just go inside real quick so I can talk to you. So if I'm talking to them, I'd stop them outside, go direct, let them know that I'm interested, and then from there just mention, alright, it's fucking freezing right now, so let's go into this building so I can continue this conversation with you.
Yeah.
I want to get to know you.
That's perfect. And if there's no buildings or you're both going opposite direction, just get a number really quickly. There's no weather, I don't think, unless it's like a hurricane, where you can't just stand there for like 2 minutes and talk and get her number. Yeah. No matter how cold it is, you're probably wearing a jacket, you're probably wearing gloves.
And you know what? The weather is, use things that you think would be a disadvantage to your advantage, like what Jason just said. Just ask her, hey, it's fucking freezing out here, let's go inside. And then boom, you're inside of the girl.
Or just bring like an extra jacket everywhere you go. Just do that to her.
Let's see.
That joke's alright.
Yep, there you go. There you go. This is a good one. How do you make sure the girl is at least 18? So, see, before when we first started, we're like, fuck, I don't know if she's 18. How do I
Especially if you go to a mall or something where you're girls these days, the hormones and foods, I don't know what's happening.
So we used to try to find like sneaky ways to try to get their age and stuff. Like, hey, I'm taking a survey, what's your age, or whatever. I don't know. We used some like sneaky ways. What I found out was the best, what we found out was the best is you just straight up ask them. Just say,
how old are you?
Yeah, hey, how old are you?
What is your age?
Yeah.
And they're like, I'm 19. And then I would say, good, that means I can flirt with you.
Yeah.
And if they say 17, you say, nice to meet you, I'm leaving now.
Actually, when they say 17 or below, I just walk away. I don't even, because why would I waste
And
my breath?
I've seen Kong do this. What they'll do is, they'll be like, yeah, I'm 17, sorry. And then he will take his head and then turn it the opposite direction and then start walking.
Yep.
Well, one other thing that you can do if you really don't want to ask how old they are because you're shy or something, ask them what college they go to. So I'm going to think that 90% of girls are at least 18 if they're in college. And then from there, they answer what college they go to, then you can say, oh, okay, cool, so you're at least 18.
Yeah. Very easy. Honestly, anytime you have a question about, like, how do I find out if she's this, the 99% of the time, we're just going to say, just ask. That's it. We're very big fans of being
Blunt.
Yeah, blunt and very honest.
We're a big fan of blunts too, though.
Okay, I'm going to go to a video now. What was that guy's name? Should I find him again?
Dave's.
Just click on anyone.
Yeah, whatever. Okay, so I'm going to go to, let's see.
How do you get? Here, that's a good one.
Okay, Anthony Yu.
Yeah, this is actually a really good question.
Anthony Yu.
Kick your head up. So the guy he's lying at you because
Yeah,
you're
no, yeah.
Hey, what's up, man? Is it Is our shit fucked up or what? No, we can't hear you.
It's okay. It's our shit. It's our shit.
Is it?
Yeah. Anthony, I'm sorry, but we're gonna read your question out loud. If you guys are on the live video version or questions, just type it in very, very, distinctly, and we'll read it. So let's just read this question.
Okay, so how do you get better with girls who have a girlfriend? Is his question.
Okay. So basically, you're in the situation where you can't really have sex with girls, but you still want to keep your skill set up.
Right.
Okay.
So
The thing is, if you have a girlfriend, that doesn't mean stop. That doesn't mean you can't not talk to people. You can still talk to people if you have a girlfriend. And a big problem that I've seen with guys when they have girlfriends is they see their girlfriend as the solution to all of their problems, social anxiety, everything. And then once that disappears, they're back at the same place they were beforehand. So what you want to do is continue being social with people. Just be a social person. So when you're single, you have goals to go out and talk to girls and see what happens and try to push interactions. When you're with a girlfriend, you should also have goals, social goals. Try to push interactions, but not towards sex. Try to get friends. Try to get girls to like you, but not in a sexual way. By the way, that's a whole different game. It's a whole different game, but it's still a very interesting game to play. And I don't mean play in a negative sense, but in a positive sense. Just because you have a girlfriend doesn't mean you need to stop talking to people, basically. That's the number.
This is what you gotta do.
I always see guys, when they get a girlfriend, they just stop talking to girls, period.
Yeah, this is what you should do. Go out, hit on girls, get their phone number, text them, whatever, invite them to a party, and then introduce them to guys that you like, so that you want to make a good connection with, that you're trying to network with. So you meet these girls, introduce them to your guy friends, and it's like your guy friends will like it. The girl will probably like it because like you're just a cool guy who's introducing everybody and getting everybody to make friends. So it's like a win-win situation, and you still get to practice and improve your social skills. And explain to your girlfriend also what you're doing.
And
just say,
in no way
trying
are we
to-
saying like cheat on your girlfriend. Don't misinterpret what we're saying right now.
Yeah, unless you want to.
Yeah,
that's completely
I'm
up
not
to
gonna judge you if you do,
you.
but don't take it like, well, simple pickup told me to cheat, so
Yeah, just tell your girlfriend, listen, I'm trying to improve my social skills. I'm going to be meeting random girls and getting their phone numbers. Don't worry, I'm introducing them to my guy friends.
If you're a shy guy and you're an introvert and you want to keep improving your social skills, hitting on girls is not the only way to do that. You can still make friends with people.
yeah.
All right.
This just makes me think like if you have a girlfriend like you really like her, why would you get there? But anyways,
Should we-
Well, it's
Yeah.
because you want to improve your social skills in
to
general.
meet other girls when you have a girlfriend.
Oh, meeting girls is like the best way to improve your social skills. Because meeting guys is very natural for everyone. I mean, you're talking to a dude, you don't want to fuck his butt unless you're
Yeah.
gay.
Dennis Kerniawan.
I have a good feeling about this.
Yeah, Dennis Kerniawan. You're about to
Just
be
click
on.
it. It's gonna work.
Yeah. Wait, hold on. Let me just check our volume. Is this? It can't be us because the others worked. So I don't know. All right. Dennis, what's up, man? Sorry, go ahead. Yeah, you're cutting out, dude. Okay, so no. Well, the question was, all right, thanks, Dennis. So the question was, how do you act around your friends that are girls? And do you still flirt with them? Are you still flirty, or do you kind of like turn it off? Is what the text said.
What's the question?
So how do you act around your friends that are girls? That are like just friends.
As friends. Like, do you only hang out with them as like strictly friends?
So there's two ways to handle it. One, if you're trying to have sex with them, then just keep flirting with them. Do whatever you do. You know, and a lot of guys are like, oh, but she's in my social circle. Everyone's gonna judge me. So the fuck what? Just say I like her. I'm gonna go for it. If you guys are gonna get mad at me for that, then go fuck yourself. You know, it's like, who cares? As long as you're not like doing anything crazy. You know, like trying to like we go out and do crazy shit that.
We normally don't do with our friends.
Yeah, exactly. So you still go and take risks, but don't go overboard and do something that will make them mad, I guess. But yeah, you shouldn't hold yourself back. But I think the other side of it is, what do you like? How do you interact with friends that are just friends but that are girls?
Act like as if they were a guy that was your friend. If you just want them to be strictly friends, then just act like it's a dude, and you're just buddies. You don't need to flirt with every girl to keep her as a friend.
Well, the thing is, like, I feel like flirting with a girl, the way I talk to my guy friends is the way I talk to girls, minus obviously like the physical escalation, hand holding, and trying to kiss them and stuff. But the way I talk to them, the jokes I make, pretty much exactly the same as the jokes I make to you guys.
Yeah.
You know, it's like I go out and I really like being awkward and making people feel awkward. Like, I love that. So I'll do that with my friends that are girls as well. It doesn't. I don't change who I am because of their gender or their sex. You know, I'm the same.
That's a really important lesson.
Yeah, it's pretty
Which it took me a long time to realize. You don't change who you are just because the girl is
And
girl.
yeah, and similarly, you don't change who you are just because that's a random girl either. So
Yeah, whenever I approach a girl, I act like I've known her forever.
yeah.
Like, if she says a dumb joke, I'll be like, oh, that was a dumb joke. And that makes them like you more.
Alright, let's move on to the next question.
Okay, so do you ever use your dog to pick up girls?
No. Next question.
Oh god, no.
We do not.
Next question.
Um,
I mean, you can if you're with your dog and you see a cute girl, but you know,
Yeah.
don't
It's-
rely on
Yeah, don't go out walking your dog with
so
the
fucking
the,
stupid.
the idea of
When people don't use a crutch,
Yeah.
basically.
honestly, it does help just because they're like, oh, that's cute, but you don't want to get into the mindset that I need this dog to help me pick up girls. That defeats the purpose of you trying to better yourself, basically. What?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna look for it.
Whatever.
Right there. Go back.
Go.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Michael S.
Only because he asked.
Yeah, only because you put pick my question, por favor.
We're not gonna do that every time. It's just
Yeah,
it's
we
one time.
happened to do that this time. How do you force the girl to be the one who is forward to make the first move?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
That's a really good question.
Generally speaking, you can only do this with very, very confident girls. And to be able to read that, you have to have experience. You can't get a shy girl to make the first move.
You will never get a shy girl.
90% of girls will never make the first move, no matter what you do. But in terms of like kissing and stuff, they might make the first move in terms of getting your number, or in terms of that's pretty much it.
Just assume the majority of girls will not make the first move because they're not going to.
I've never had the girl make the first move. I always make the first move.
I've had it.
Well, okay.
Sometimes.
When I've had it, the way I played it was, I would act like I am the prize, and I would, because basically you have to be sure that she's DTF. You have to be sure that she's down. And once you get those signals, you can tell from her eye contact, the way she's talking to you, the way she's looking at you, and you pretty much know, okay, this girl really, really, really wants to fuck tonight, and I don't want to be the one to push it. I'm pretty sure she will make the first move if I act like I don't really care. So you basically have to get in the mindset of, I'm going to do things to make her think that I don't really care, but in the end, it's going to make her make the first move on you. So what I would do is talk really close to her face, and then not go for the kiss. Do something sexual, like go for her hand and try to hold it, but then let go immediately.
But that's still you kind of making the first move, though.
Well, it's the first move, but then back. This has worked. So what I do is I make the first move without without actually kissing her, and I will do everything except actually going for the kiss. And at the end, it's just so natural for her to do it that she'll just do it. But it's very rare. I would never count on that happening.
Yeah. Generally speaking, I would just not do it because why would you?
Yeah, unless you're like a complete boss and you know what you're doing.
Yeah, if you're like a PlayStation movie star, then I think you're allowed to do that. Generally speaking, though, it's not a good thing to do, and you shouldn't really waste your time practicing that. Okay, so how do you? Oh, this is a good one. How do you increase your social circle, Scott Parker? So the way to increase your social circle is...
Here, let's segment this into like age groups. If you're in college, there's a way.
Yeah, I was gonna say
That's
this is
true.
a very broad question.
Yeah, I was just going to answer it in a really broad way. I mean,
Okay, answer it broadly.
here, so the broad way is you have to be the connector, and the connector means you have to bring everybody together. So you have to take initiative and get people to, and this works across the board, no matter how old you are. You have to get people to hang out with you and other people. So let's say you have, you're at work, okay? Every place at work, we did this for a podcast too, actually, but everyone at work, every corporation, if you work in corporate America, they always have that one day where everybody goes out to get happy hour, okay? So you should be the one setting that up. You set it up and you invite people, hey, we're all going to happy hour, you want to come? Hey, we're all going to happy hour, you want to come? And then you set that up, and then everybody knows you now as the connector. So you do this enough times, and people are going to call you and be like, hey, Scott, what's going on this weekend? What's cool? And they're going to know you as that person. That's how you it's not really increase your social circle. That's how you build your social circle.
And that's for like the business world. Let's say if it's just for strictly friends that are in the same school as you. You get to know one person. Then you meet that person's friends. You get to know all their friends. And then once you get to know that group, you take the group that you're in right now to also meet that entire group. They all mesh.
Basically,
you know each other. Same thing, again, after that, it's just a cycle. You meet another person, you meet that person's group, and then you have them meet your group, and then the other group. And then you just become the circle of all these other groups that want to hang out.
Basically, you have to bring something to the table. You can't just go into a big group of friends and be like, hey, can I be friends with all of you? You have to do something. So usually, the easiest thing is you introduce them to more people, because everybody wants to socialize. That's the best way to do it.
Let's say you're in college.
In college?
Yeah.
Or high school even. Same thing.
You know, exactly what I said is a pretty good way.
Yeah, same thing. Have also instead of you can even have like parties. That's I guess a cool thing to do in high school, college. Say, hey, I'm having a party at my house. Invite a whole bunch of people over. Tell them to invite their friends, and when they come, you got to be a good host. You got to introduce yourself to everybody. Say, hey, it's my house. What's going on? Cool. Where are you from? And make friends that way. Join clubs too. If you're in school, join clubs. That's a good way to do it. How do you flirt? What do you do? Some of these questions are just funny. Oops. Over here. Are we ever going to see you guys on dates being recorded?
Good question.
Possibly. The shitty part about...
I'm going to say yes, not going to say no.
Yeah. Just know that we have dates on camera, but the thing about that is that it's not quite legal to film inside like a private venue, like a restaurant, which is where we usually take the dates. So making that public for people to watch is kind of a hard situation.
Yeah, guys, we have a lot of legal issues when it comes to the things that we do, so we're trying to figure out how to do it. Mm-hmm. It'll be out eventually in some form, but we're trying to figure out how to do it.
Yeah, so eventually, yes. But in the near future, I don't know.
Hey, this guy says bosses don't care about legalities, though, so...
Yeah, that's true.
Okay.
Well, in that case, let's just release it.
Fish. Break some fishes.
This question space should be bigger, guys.
Good job.
Thanks, Arthur. I'll send that to the vocal team.
Can I hold this?
Yeah.
Okay. How do you do it? You just,
Yeah, you just gotta do that.
Okay. This one?
That's too broad,
Yeah.
honestly. Honestly, we're trying to avoid
How about this one?
really broad
Oh,
questions.
this one.
Yeah.
Okay.
How do you deal with typical Asian girls? So by typical Asian girls, let me just clarify for those that don't know. I'm guessing he means girls that are like really shy, really cliquish. They only hang out with like their group.
Is that what typical means? I really, because
I
I
thought
Like,
it was
basically
fresh off the boat.
Yeah, just basically girls that are kind of not down to talk. They're not that social. So how do you deal with them?
well, there's a stereotype about. I'm going to say typical. I guess I'm assuming your definition of typical is the same as mine. There's a stereotype about typical Asian girls that they're really conservative and shy, and they're not down to do things that American girls are down to do. Would you agree with this?
Yeah, there's a stereotype.
Would you agree that the stereotype is true?
No.
Do you think it's far from the truth?
Like,
No, it's not far from the truth.
Here's my
but
take on it.
it's-
Like, every girl, every person likes to talk. You just have to find something that they're interested in. So let's say you talk to a shy Asian girl, you might have to try harder to find a topic that she would want to talk about, but like once you find it, she's gonna be an open book, and she's gonna like completely open up to whatever you want to talk about, because you're the first person that's probably tried to actually have her socialize.
And at the end of the day, they're still human beings. They still have the same emotional triggers that everyone else does. It's just the cultural difference is a little bit different.
Yeah, and a lot of times too, you have to realize that Asians, coming from an Asian family myself and having Asian friends, I know this to be true, that a lot of Asians are reserved because that's their culture. So a lot of times they might not respond to you as well as other cultures, and that's not them saying they're not interested. That's just how they react to those kind of things. So to deal with that, you have to take your mind and be considerate of where they're coming from. So if they're not making eye contact with you, that's not because they hate you. That's because in their culture, making eye contact is not always necessarily a good thing. And I guess if they're like really shy and I guess passive is the right word, you really have to take the lead with those girls. They are a lot of girls. Let's say I make out with a girl. Okay, I try to make out with a girl. An American girl that's from America will make out a lot more easily, generally speaking, than a girl that just came here from Asia, because they're not that open to those ideas, and because of that, I will just try more times and in different ways, if that makes sense.
Or you can do what Kimchi says and just talk to whites and blacks.
That's true. Okay.
By the way, in terms of Asian girls, real quick, there's going to be a whole episode based on this in the next, 2-3 weeks? Yeah. And I personally will go into a lot of detail on how to do it with examples.
Not really Asian girls, it's like...
It's Asian foreign girls.
Yeah, like foreign girls, yeah. Okay. What is the limit on how much money you spend on one girl?
Okay,
I'd say like $5.
If you think in terms of limit, that's not the right mindset. It's more like, is this... I'm assuming you're talking about buying her a drink, getting her dinner, whatever. It's more like, is this girl worth... Is she cool enough? Is she trying to take advantage of me? Those are the questions you should be asking yourself. Not, what's my limit until I'm down to stop spending money and try to have sex with her?
Yeah.
Is she cool? Is she trying to take advantage of me? And the answers to those questions you should base your limit answer on.
And also, I don't think you should set a limit. I think, generally speaking, you should just go for cheap or free dates or anything that's in your budget. If you're a millionaire and you want to take a girl to a fancy dinner, go right ahead. Most guys aren't going to do that. But
if I was the richest guy in the world and I thought a girl was trying to take advantage of me, I wouldn't spend a penny on her because it's not worth it.
Here's the best thing. Don't set a limit for yourself, but just avoid going to expensive dinners. Avoid going to dinner in general if you don't want to spend the money. Like just go to a cafe or go to get like some yogurt, some dessert.
And there's always free shit to do. Like,
Exactly, or something even free. You can
You
go
don't
to
spend
like
money at all.
yeah. I know if you have Bank of America.
You know what? Actually, free dates are the most
Here,
of the
quick-
best dates.
Quick tip: if you have Bank of America, I don't know if they still do it, but you get to go to museums for free like one day out of the month. Just look it up. Just look up Bank of America museums. They might still have it. So that I actually used that a few times, and just took the girl there. I was like, yeah, well, Bank of America gives me this free museum thing. You want to go? And then even if the museum sucks, we have fun making fun of shit there. So it's a very fun thing to do. Just a quick tip.
Free dates are, it requires some creativity, so the girl will think, oh, he actually thought about this before he came out with me, which, makes you look good.
Okay.
You do not need to spend money on dates. Something I did recently was just take a girl to the Hollywood sign at night, even though it was kind of creepy and there was no lights. I took her to the Hollywood sign. It was free, and she was blown away by it.
Dude, click on Jesse Kong, because I'm missing.
Too
in
late.
there.
Give an example of up talk and how not to do it. So that's a good question. So
What's the question?
okay,
That's up
another
talk.
question. Up talk is when the tone of your voice goes upward at the end of the sentence. You'll hear this a lot when people make presentations and they're nervous. They'll say,
What's nervous?
what? They'll say, for example,
That's about like the itchy.
hey guys, this is the introduction to my presentation. Today I'm going to be talking about picking up girls. And when you pick up girls, you want to, you see how like at the end of every sentence my voice is going upward? You'll see a lot of girls do that, especially. I don't know why girls tend to generally do that more.
Because they don't need guys to fuck them. They're just down, so they don't have to protect it.
No, I mean like during presentation. So when you do that in a real life setting, it's very passive and it shows that you're nervous and that you're not comfortable where you are at the moment.
So an example of not using up talking,
Here, let me-
we're talking right now.
Yeah, let me-
Everything we say doesn't really go up.
And at first you're going to have to think about it, but after a while it'll become a very natural thing to do.
Yeah.
Let me give you back-to-back examples, okay? So just think of it, up talk, as you're making everything into a question. That's a bad thing. You know how when you ask a question, you raise your voice at the end? Mm-hmm. So that is not a good thing when you're not actually asking a question. So let me do it again. Hi, my name is Kong. This is my presentation, and today
I'm getting
I'm going
really
to
bad chills
I'm
right
going
now.
to be talking about picking up girls. So that's up talk.
You know what's funny?
And-
This is how I used to talk.
Yeah, I know.
Years and years
That's
ago.
how I used to talk all the
Yeah.
time when I first started. And so this is the right way to do it. If I'm making a presentation, hi, my name is Kong. Today I'm going to be talking about picking up girls, and this is the introduction to my presentation. Do you see how my voice is going downward now? And when you talk to girls, you should be talking almost,
Hold on a second.
we call it down talk.
There was multiple people saying that it froze.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Ah, damn it. Is it still frozen? Okay, no. It said no. We're good.
Okay.
So let me just say that again. Hi, my name is Kong. This is the introduction to my presentation. Today I'm going to be talking to you about picking up girls. So we call this down talk. That's not really a word. Up talk is actually a word. And you can actually even look it up on YouTube, online. Just search up up talk. That's a real word that they use in business when you're making presentations. You should not be using up talk. Right.
Let's not go into like things that we've already gone into in past videos.
Yeah, that's true too, actually. How do I stop ghetto black guys from swooping on the girl I'm talking to in the club?
Hold on. Let's think about this for a second. How do we stop ghetto
No,
black?
honestly, you have to be a boss. It's that simple. Like, you see a guy coming in to cockblock you, you will treat him the same way if it was a white dude trying to cockblock you. Just because he's black doesn't mean you should be any more scared than if it's a white guy.
Yeah, so to get rid of cock blocks, there's a lot of things you can do. Maybe we should go into that for a podcast, actually. But
Yeah, that's a good podcast.
I think one really good thing I'll give you one technique I like to use. How about that? One technique I like to use. Let's say I'm talking to a girl, a guy comes up, whether he's black, white, or whatever, doesn't matter. If you're not rude to them, they're never going to fight you. I haven't gotten into a fight to this day. If you're not rude to them, they will not fight you. So,
And you've done thousands of approaches.
oh, dude,
thousands.
Yeah, and I get pretty crazy too when cock blocks come up. So, if I haven't gotten into a fight, you probably won't get into a fight.
Kong will intentionally do things that are very, very weird.
Yeah.
And he hasn't gotten into a fight.
He gave a guy a raspberry.
Yeah.
Oh my god, he gave
Guy
me a
walked
raspberry.
up, he lifted up his shirt, gave him a raspberry, and then acted as if nothing
The
happened.
guy was trying to cock block me and Jason, so I just looked at him, I lifted up his shirt and fucking blew on his stomach. Like, what? He's not gonna fight me for that, right? That's a very kind thing to do.
You're giving him pleasure.
So one thing I like to do is, it's kind of two things. One is you can just, here, I'll just give you what I usually do. If a guy comes up and starts talking to the girl and starts hitting on her, I'll grab her hand, spin her around, and then take a step back and then pull her closer to me. So then now, it's hard to explain unless you see it, but if you spin her, you can kind of suggest to her where she is going to stop, I guess. So when you're spinning her, you can either if he's on your left, you spin her and you take a step to the right as she's spinning, and then when she's finished, you're like on the right, and then you pull her. So ideally, her back is now to the guy.
So basically, you're not even engaging the dude.
Yeah, like I don't talk to the guy, especially in a club when
That's the best thing to do.
Yeah.
Don't.
I don't even engage the guy. So I take, hey, come here, boom, spin her, pull her closer to me, boom, done. And then usually after that, they just leave.
Yeah.
Sometimes they'll try to go in, and that's getting more advanced, and we'll talk about that sometime.
Yeah, we'll do a
That happens
podcast on
rarely,
that,
though.
so
That happens rarely.
it's fine.
Most cases, you'll be good doing what you just said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you go out by yourself? I cannot day game by myself, and I always need a friend or motivation.
Well, you need to find your own motivation.
Yeah, dude.
Honestly, if you are relying on your friends as a crutch to go out, that's really bad. You need to force yourself to actually go out one day and realize how there's no difference when you go out on your own. Because think about it this way: when you go out with your friends, and then you guys basically disperse. So it's as if you went alone. You may meet up with your friends 2-3 times between the night and talk about how you met up with this girl, it went awesome, cool. But why don't you just do that at the end of the night when you get home instead of during the night?
Well, beginners really need that, I guess, the camaraderie of someone else doing the same thing they're doing. But the thing is, when we go out, we always, like you just said, we always split up. And at the very end of the night, I'll meet up with them if I didn't get laid or whatever. I'll meet up with them, I'll try to hit them up. But up until that point, I'm by myself. Unless I really, really desperately need a wing. And it makes zero difference. Zero.
Basically, I mean, I can give you techniques and little things to do and strategies to get yourself pumped up to go out, but at the end of the day, it's all about you kicking yourself in the ass. You gotta ask yourself, how much do you want this? How much do you want to find that girl, and how much do you want to get better socially? You know,
How horny are you?
exactly. Like, how much do you want to get?
How many weeks has it been since you've been late?
Yeah, so you have to ask yourself, how years? You gotta ask yourself, how much do I want this? And if the answer is not so much, maybe this isn't for you. But if it's something that you want to do, then you just got to find a way to kick yourself in the ass and do it. And it's a lot easier said than done. I admit. I've been through it myself. But really, just sit down, write down, really think about just how much you want it, and then take some action.
Just know that when we first started doing day game and just approaching girls at night on our own, at first it was uncomfortable. It was a little weird.
At first, meaning the first few days.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, after a while, you kind of realize, not after a while, very soon you realize it's the same shit. It's the same exact thing, except there's not a person within a 1 mile radius of you that you're comfortable going back to as a safety net.
So don't go out the first time, think, shit, this sucks, and then give up. Just remember, everyone goes through that. This is normal. I'm gonna have to push through this the first few times I go out, and then you'll realize that, okay, there is a point where me going out alone is completely normal. I feel fine.
It'll be as normal as going out with your friends.
Yeah.
Okay, so Govar Karam. I'm about to put you on live. Okay, Govar does not have a camera apparently, so I'm going to take you off the air now. You could?
I couldn't even
Oh,
hear
yeah,
it,
yeah.
so I don't even think he had a speaker.
Let's see here. Richie Furley. I don't know how to pronounce that, but I'm putting you on.
Can you close the door?
Yeah. Hey, can you hear us? Awesome. We cannot hear you for some reason. Honestly, guys, I think we're having technical difficulties or something because we're not able to hear anybody.
Yeah, we apologize for that.
Yeah. So here, just tell me if I'm getting your question right. Okay. How do you deal with girls in club who come onto you very strong is the question, and so you're probably talking about how do you deal with girls in clubs who are like really, really aggressive toward you?
I think, like...
Yeah, no, he said yeah. So, what do you mean, how do you deal with them? Wouldn't you just have sex with them?
No, I think he means like when they're like very high energy and then he can't keep up with that.
Oh.
So aggressive, like in a bad way, not in a good way.
Oh, okay. I think he's writing something too. When they have a girlfriend and come on to you. Like their girlfriend comes on to you, do you just go for it or do you just pass? Wait, I would just go for it.
Yeah, they're completely into you and they're aggressively throwing themselves at you. Unless they're like a 200-pound behemoth, I think I'll just say, all right, let's get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
My car's right outside.
So the other thing too is, thanks by the way, Richie. Oh, was it Richie? I don't know. I might have gotten that name wrong. Sorry if I did. So the other thing is, what do you do if, let's say, you're going for a girl that's hot, and then another girl approaches or is coming on to you? So that might be a question too. In that case, if I feel like it's a 50-50 with the girl I'm talking to that's hotter, I would just take the one that's already.
It's easiest saying just weigh your options. Are you gonna get laid by the girl you're talking to, or should you give it up and then just pass for the girl that's already down?
Especially when you're like a beginner, I would say just try to, if let's say if I've gotten laid.
Oh, good point. Good point.
If I've gotten laid 5 days out of 5 days in the last 5 days, right? I would probably pass and go for the hot girl. But if I was a beginner, I'll take every chance I get to get laid, or I'll take every chance I get to game a girl that's into me, because I need that practice. And not only that, reference experience I have, and you need the reference experience. And generally speaking, especially when I first started, I wasn't getting laid much at all. So even if a girl was like, I don't know, 5 or 6, I'll be like, okay, as long as I can get a boner when she's in bed, that's cool with me.
And it's motivation. Like when you go out and you haven't gotten laid ever, and this is your first chance, and you actually get laid, that will give you so much motivation to want to go out again.
Yeah.
Because that just like proves that it is possible.
Okay. This one's good. If I feel like I took too long to close the deal with a girl, 3+ weeks, should I just quit or what? Why would you quit?
Yeah, don't quit.
There's no way you should ever quit.
There's a thing that we do, and we call it just kill it. By kill it, we mean at that point, either bluntly say, are we going to hook up or not? And that is going to answer your question. Either you waited 3 weeks, so are you guys going to hook up now? Or should you move on?
Yeah. So never just quit, okay? If you ever want to quit, let's say you just have a shitload of girls lined up. You don't care about this one anymore, and you just want to see if she's, you know, down to have sex or down to hook up or not. In that case, just literally, as Jason said, write her a very blunt text and say, hey, I'm gonna be, or do you want to have come over to my place for dinner and a movie tonight, and then just try to go from there.
And even in person,
Yes,
just literally look her in the eye and say, hey, we should hook up.
yeah. Like, you should never just quit. Basically, our rule is she has to quit on you. Unless you just have a shitload of girls lined up, then maybe you can quit. Let's see, how much time do we have? Let's do a couple more questions. This is good. How do you deal with not having a car? Public transportation. Public transportation. and don't feel like, oh, just because we're taking the bus, it's going to be a turnoff. One of our interns actually does not have a car. He just takes the bus here, and he now has a girlfriend. What? Yeah. So, and I don't know how he's getting around, but I know he's not driving her around. Maybe she's driving him. Maybe they're taking public transportation together. Who knows? Whatever. It doesn't matter. It shouldn't hold you back from getting dates and going on dates.
And honestly, if it comes down to it, just be honest. Be like, listen, I want to take you on this date, but I don't have a car. So would you be able to pick me up so that we can go on this romantic date together? And if you're that blunt and honest about it, she can't get mad at you. That's just awesome of you to do in the first place.
You could do that, or you can even make it like an adventure to use public transportation. You can say, here, I'm gonna, like you and some girl went on the metro. Jesse has a car, and he like went on public transportation with some girl.
On purpose.
Yeah, on purpose, to just have an adventure.
I mean,
Like, that is a date idea.
I told her, let's go on the metro together, or she told me, either way. We basically made a decision to go on the metro together, and that was the date. That was the adventure. So it doesn't matter if you don't have a car. You can still make it work.
You get ambiance.
Just bums next. And there were bums.
The smells.
Yeah. It's all things that you can make fun of and have conversations
City
about.
lights, though.
Exactly.
Awesome.
Some days I go out and approach like crazy, and some days approach anxiety comes back. How do I get rid?
You will never get rid of that.
Yeah.
Never. You can lower the amount that you feel, like the amount of fear that you feel, the anxiety that you feel, but it will never go away. You can do it for 10 years straight, every single day, but you'll still feel a slight.
To some degree, you'll feel it.
It might be microscopic, but it's there. Like you can't completely lose that. But the way that you make it so that you almost get rid of it is by going out and hitting on as many girls as possible.
And another thing too is you got to think about it like this. Don't think about it like, ah, shit, I have the bitch butterflies today. I don't want to do it. Fuck, I feel like shit. Just think about it as you have to acknowledge that that's a normal feeling. You're going to feel that a little bit or a lot, regardless of how much. You're going to feel that no matter what. So acknowledge that it's a normal thing, and then do what you have to do to get rid of it. And again, I think we did a podcast on getting into God mode, so I won't go too much into detail, but just don't look at it as a bad thing.
It's a normal thing.
Yeah, it's a very normal thing.
Every single time we go out, we don't really feel like it initially, but after a few minutes, we're just like, oh, fuck it, who gives a shit? This is what we do every single day. Cool. It's normal.
And just one last thing. An easy thing to do is expect failure, because if you fail, you expected it. If you don't, awesome.
Oh, this is a good question. Where do you have sex if you can't at home or her place? Where would you park a car?
Oh,
okay. So,
good question.
Here's, I've never had sex in a car, I don't think.
What?
Yeah. What? I've gotten a blowjob in a car, but not sex.
Really?
Yeah. It's just too uncomfortable. But hold on.
Park anywhere where it's secluded. I mean, if that secluded area is outside of your house, then park outside of your house. Outside of her house,
and
outside of a park.
And here's the thing too.
Well, real quick, if you're doing it in a car, the best place is behind like some sort of grocery store, because every grocery store has like a loading area.
Oh, that's true.
where no one goes, and you just park your car behind there. No cops are going to show up. If it's late at night, no loading trucks are going to show up. There you go. That is the. Oh my god, that's another Jesse trick.
I honestly, in Vegas, okay, I've always wanted to do this, but I haven't had the chance yet. In Vegas, the hotels there have really, really nice bathrooms. Like, it's extremely clean. People go in and clean it like every 10, 15 minutes. And I've always wanted to meet a girl and just pull her into the bathroom to have sex. And if you look around your area, I'm sure there's probably like a restaurant somewhere or a hotel where the door, the ones I'm talking about, the door goes all the way down, so you can't even see that there's two people in there. There's no way you can see what's going on in there.
Just the stomping of the feet.
Yeah, those are the best kind of bathrooms. So if you can find somewhere like that, that'd be cool too. Make sure it's not dirty. Unless you're into that, into the dirty bathroom shit, then...
Another fun place is if there's a mall that has a movie theater. Once you walk around, there's always a section where there's a hallway with endless doors, and there's usually a spot that you could find a corner somewhere, a door that's in like has a divot so you can like stay in between that divot and no one can see you, and then you make it a quickie, and that has a danger factor in there. It's kind of fun. That's another place.
But in terms of ease, just look for a Ralph's or a Vaughn's and fucking go behind the loading area. That's where it's at.
That is. All right, let's do one more question, and then I think we should be done.
It's Omar Garcia.
Or a park. It's just happened.
There we go.
Someone asked earlier, do we shop at Gap? No, we don't really shop at Gap.
I buy my,
What is
I buy my
dude?
clothes from fucking Target, dude.
This shirt
has a hole. Can you guys see? I wore this to a date tonight, and there's a hole
Nice.
right there.
Oh yeah, I have a one too. Yeah.
Wow. What? You guys are too buff, that's why. Hey, I'm a virgin and only getting ugly, fat girls that are down. Should I wait? No, you shouldn't wait.
No.
Why would you? Here's
Virginity is not something
here's-
sacred. Stop flying into the crap.
Yeah, who cares? This is my theory. Especially if you're starting out. You know, if you have options, then yeah, you can let some girls go. But if you're starting out, why would you get rid, or why would you not take that opportunity to gain the reference experience? You know, when you meet girls, to keep a girl, not only do you have to have like a certain type of personality that they're attracted to, you also have to have a really good sex life. You know, if your sex is boring, girls aren't going to want to stay with you. And I've experienced that firsthand multiple times. So you have to be able to be very comfortable with sex and somewhat good at it. You don't have to be amazing. You just have to be like, you got to know a little bit about what you're doing.
But Kong, he said he doesn't want to remember that as his first. This poor guy.
Oh,
He doesn't want to remember his first sexual experience, you know, being with a fatty.
You know what?
See, now he's putting ha 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 because he gets it. Yeah, dude, honestly.
If you're about to fuck that hot chick that you get lucky with, or you get good at gaming, then you get to meet her, do you want to have sex and then have her have the horrible time of her life because you come in 2 seconds? Or do you want to fuck like 10 fatties and have an endurance of at least 5 minutes so she will enjoy it somewhat?
Here's what I do. Here's what I do, okay? As long as you can get an erection, imagine her naked on your bed, okay? And then you're naked too. If you think you can get an erection in that scenario, then go for it. Why not? You know, who cares if she's not the best looking girl in the world? But if the answer to that is no, I cannot get a boner if she was naked and about to fuck me, then probably don't fuck her.
Kaden Bowie, shut the fuck up. Fuck a fatty. Just do it.
Don't fuck a fatty, oh my god.
It's like, no, dude, like, seriously, but people have this misconception about even talking to girls and they're not really that attracted to, and having sex with. And this is stuff that we would not say on YouTube because I don't think that the masses could handle this.
Yeah, they can't.
They can't handle this information because the truth is, if you want to get good, if you want to get good at sex, you can't really be that picky. If you want to get good at game quickly, you can't be that picky.
Yeah.
After a certain point, you're gonna get to a point where, okay, you're comfortable with people in general, you're comfortable with sex, and then you'll be able to have a wider selection and a more, what's the word, strict selection of girls that you want to talk to and have sex with. Until then, dude, who gives a fuck?
Yeah.
Who gives a shit?
Again, if you can get a boner, just do it. Just do it. Okay, so I think that should be the end of this. Again, if you guys have any feedback, critiques, whatever, put it in the feedback section of Project Go. We always read that, and that's it.
Wait.
What?